Hi, I'm gonna do a short session on dog down, adho mukha svanasana. Just showing you some of the tips that can help to improve your pose and to find balance and levelness within the pose. So I guess we should just get started. So ultimately, one of the best ways to start adho mukha svanasana is to start on the floor. To have your hands underneath your shoulders, so the fingertips underneath your shoulders, and then to turn your toes under. And then this places you in position to come up. It brings your hands and your feet into position. So keep your hands and your feet where they are, and then bring yourself up into dog down. Now, at this stage, lots of people do this and they make it short again. But a short dog down is really hard to lengthen into. This is the shape that you'll often see when dog down is too short. Sometimes when it's too long, you'll still see that. And it's where the legs aren't doing enough work. So starting from the floor, bringing your hand underneath your tips of your shoulders and turning the toes under. That makes the pose the perfect length for your body. Now, at this stage, you might notice that actually your hands and your feet aren't quite in line with each other. My legs are over to the left side a little too much. So I'm going to just adjust that so that my feet are hip width apart and in line with my hands that are just over shoulder width apart. So when you're deciding on how wide your pose needs to be, then, or how how wide the hands should be from the feet, then that's a good starting position. So you have your hands so that your fingertips are just underneath your shoulders, and you turn your toes under and just walk your toes in a little bit, and then that will give you that space that you really need to come into the pose. It might feel long for some people because lots of people do dog down too short, but it's a good way to, it's the perfect length for your specific body length. So the starting point is always important. The other problem that we often see is this, where the back rounds and there's loads of weight on your hands. It doesn't feel very pleasant at all. So what we're really looking for is a flat back, pushing the shoulder blades in, and straight legs. However, that's kind of easier said than done with some people. Some people have got really stiff shoulders, so the shoulders just won't move. So the way to get the kind of more triangular, let's say, shape in dog down is to activate the legs. So it's to kind of place the hands in the right position, but to get really kind of almost forget about the hands and to get the legs to work. So this is where the legs aren't doing anything. My weight is bearing down into my wrists, into my palms, into the arms, and so that there's no real kind of activation in my legs. So first of all, it's useful. Often people do this as well. They want to go down too low, but then the fronts of your legs are dropping. You can see these creases in between the foot and the shin. So go high to start off with, and then bend your knees really acutely. Now this gives you that space, especially if you've got stiff shoulders, to start to lift the seat bones so that the shoulder blade region draws in. So you bend your knees and then you lift the seat bones and the tailbone up towards the ceiling. And you can see that my back is now a lot straighter. It's drawing inwards. You don't want to overdo it. You don't want to kind of drop in the armpits, but you want to keep the seat bones and the tailbone high. And from there, you straighten the legs by drawing the kneecaps into the sockets, pushing the fronts of the knees through to the backs of the knees, and then turning the fronts of your thighs inwards so that the heels separate, so that you can lift from the backs of the thighs up to the seat bones. Breathing nice and evenly. And then we come down. So, of course, there's lots of work to be done in the arms. But the kind of first kind of straightening of the back action comes from bending your knees first, and then kind of tilting the seat bones and the tailbone up towards the ceiling. So we get that feeling of lift from bending the knees to start off with, and then really tilting the tailbone and the seat bones up, and then letting that be the action. I'm a bit too narrow. Letting that be the action that straightens the legs. So you push the fronts of the thighs through to the backs of the thighs, turn the fronts of the thighs inwards so that the inner heels start to separate. And then come down. So going from here to here, feeling that the body can extend and grow with the pose, and feeling that you can open up the body for that energetic lift that you need when you practice your dog down. Okay, well, thank you for joining me. If you want some more tips, I'm going to do these short videos regularly, so if you want any more tips, then press subscribe, and please like the video. Thank you very much.